I'm Rodney Tucker, Executive Director at Time Out Youth Center.
And I'm Erin Goldstein, and I'm the Chair of the Board of Directors for Time Out Youth. I'm here today with Rodney as the leadership of this agency to strongly state that we stand against racism in our community and to tell and affirm that each of our staff, volunteer, and especially the Black LGBTQ youth we serve, your life, your dreams, and your future matters to us.
And we at Time Out Youth Center are here for you. Several years ago, our youth told us that the need for a specific group to support our increased numbers of Black and Brown youth that we serve. Working with an independent consultant, we created Melanin Magic Discussion Group. This group is exclusively for queer and trans people of color to connect, discuss, and reflect on life as an intersection of race, gender, and sexuality in a safe space. This group has been meeting ever since as a permanent part of our programming calendar, and it remains a safe space for Black, Brown, and youth to gather to this day. When our youth speak, we listen and we respond.
We are listening now. We are listening to the pain and the anguish that has been reflected in protest across the nation. And we are listening to the Black youth that are posting now in our virtual drop-in center and Discord.
And we are responding. In this moment, Erin and I recognize that as leaders of this organization, our voice must be part of this response. But we also recognize that our voices are not best qualified to speak to the lived reality of what our Black queer youth are facing. So we have asked Shaq and James to join us in sharing our action plan for the community.
Thank you, Erin and Rodney, for standing in solidarity with us as a staff, and most importantly, recognizing that we need to make this statement as an agency.
It is important for our community to know that we are collectively addressing racism and are intentional about the support of Black LGBT youth during this difficult time.
To the Black queer youth who are watching, part of our toy family, and to those who are watching from afar, know that Shaq and I are in pain and are grieving just as you are. This situation has come in what has already been an extremely tough year for all of us. And unfortunately, we've just added another name to a list that is too long and painful for us to recite today.
Our hearts and minds are with you and the families that are suffering with the loss of their loved ones. Please know that in addition to these particular items we talk about today, James and I are personally here if you need support. Our emails can be found on our website at timeoutyouth.org, where we are also working on a page of resources for youth in need at this time.
So without further ado, here's what we are doing for youth. Due to COVID-19, operations remain virtual on our Discord server. So we have created a special channel on the server called Black Queer Safe Zone. This specific, exclusive channel will be a space for Black youth to process in real time the collective emotional trauma we are all going through, alongside our Black virtual volunteers, staff, and mental health specialists. In addition, we've created a white allyship channel so that white youth and volunteers can bear the burden of informing fellow white youth on issues impacting the Black community and what they can do to be a better ally. Finally, we've created an advocacy channel so that youth can tell us the way they would like to make their voices heard.
We center and elevate youth voices here at Time Out Youth Center. So we are asking youth to submit their thoughts and words via video or open letters to us so we can share with you, the community, directly how these young people feel during this trying time and what they need from the community. Please stay tuned to our social media platforms for the release of these messages in the upcoming weeks through a campaign we are calling #TimeOutForRacism.
For the month of June, we are modifying our discussion groups to focus on topics such as social justice, racial discrimination, and allyship. When possible, these groups will be led by Black facilitators. In addition, we are offering additional M&M virtual meetings to more regularly check in on youth and to continue to provide them a space to heal with their extended Melanin family.
In July, we look forward to our continued participation in Charlotte Black Gay Pride, as well as staff development opportunities through partnerships like the Black Mental Health Symposium, B10, and Race Matters for Juvenile Justice.
Please know our work supporting and uplifting doesn't stop when this chapter of American history closes, but will continue in the work to come in the days, weeks, months, and years ahead.
The doors of Time Out Youth Center are open for you, and you can only be as good as you tell us. So don't hesitate to speak up and let us know how we can make our center even more opening and welcoming to you.
On behalf of the board, staff, and volunteers of Time Out Youth Center, remember, you matter, you're loved, and take care.